Morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to talk about the new range of skincare by Boots called Boots Ingredients. And the idea of this is it's another affordable skincare line that is cruelty free, and each product focuses on one single ingredient, although there isn't just one ingredient in each of these, but I'll tell you as we go along. I have bought 5 of the 8 products. The products I didn't buy were the caffeine eye serum, although with my bags lately I wish I had. I didn't buy the salicylic acid serum because I don't really get on with salicylic acid serum. And what was the other one I didn't buy? The hemp seed oil. I don't tend to use oils very much, and if I do, I'll use my beloved sea buckthorn from The Ordinary or the borage oil, things like that. So let me tell you what order I use these in, because I've used these as my nighttime routine for about 2 weeks now, so since having them. And I thought, let me just use them all together. The only other thing I used was my A313 cream, but I only use that kind of on my chin here, on my cheeks here, and a tiny bit sort of here, just to see if it'll work on crow's feet. I don't think that as a first impressions review I would be able to tell you if any of these worked for aging, obviously. It's more about how they feel. Did my skin feel hydrated, or did it feel dry or tight? Did it cause me any breakouts, things like that. So I used the glycolic acid toner first, and then I would wait about 15 minutes. I would follow that with the hyaluronic acid serum. Then I would follow that with the vitamin C serum. Follow that with the bakuchiol serum, and finally finish with the hyaluronic acid moisturizer. So I'll talk to you about each one of these in order and how they felt and what the ingredients are, etc. And at the end I'll give you a kind of summary, because there are a couple of interesting points to note about this range. So first things first is the glycolic acid. That's what I was using after removing all my makeup. I did still go over with my micellar water. I always do, even if I'm using an acid afterwards. This is really pleasant to use. It doesn't look like I've used much, but I have used this, like I said, for the last couple of weeks. And I just put a little bit on my reusable cotton pad. It's got a sort of little squeezy hole, you know, so it's not one that you get a huge amount coming out of, so it doesn't spill or anything. Absolutely fine. This one didn't sting my skin at all, but that may be because it's not a high enough concentration. Now, one of the downsides about this range is they don't tell you the percentage, which does make me think that it's probably quite low. This is glycolic acid is about number 5 on the list, but it's below phenoxyethanol, so I feel like this is probably quite a low percentage. This has also got castor oil in it, but it's a lovely feeling glycolic acid toner. If you're looking for a low strength glycolic acid toner, it feels lovely. Don't think I told you the price of that. £5 for that glycolic acid toner in a 100ml bottle. Onto the hyaluronic acid serum. This one is £5 and this is 30ml. Everything except the glycolic acid toner comes in the pump bottle like that, and they're absolutely fine. I really like that that type of packaging. It's a lightweight packaging, and yeah, the pump bottle works for me. This again doesn't tell you what the percentage is, but it's quite high up on the ingredients list. This also has castor oil in it, and it feels lovely. It dries really quickly, which as soon as I put it on and I felt it dry, and I thought this is going to be one that's going to peel, you know, it's going to ball up on my skin, and it doesn't at all. And I think, apart from maybe Hada Labo, I think this is the only other one that hasn't balled up on my skin, so I really like it from that point of view. I really like the feeling. But I haven't found in general hyaluronic acid to be a great ingredient for me, although I know that it is, but it just doesn't seem to work for me as well. But I have really enjoyed using it though. This whole sort of little regime has been quite nice to use. Did I tell you the price? £5, yes. Okay, so then I move on to the vitamin C. This one is really interesting because this is the ethyl ascorbic acid. So it's not the pure vitamin C, it's not pure ascorbic acid, but it's almost as good as, it's one step behind it if you like, because in your skin ethyl ascorbic acid converts immediately to ascorbic acid, but then you don't have the whole issues of trying to keep it at a particular pH and trying to keep it stable, etc, etc. You guys know I love the one from Hylamide, I love the one from The Ordinary, and so I was excited to try this, expecting that sort of oily warming feeling, but you don't get it with this. It's just, I wouldn't know if I was using this or the hyaluronic acid serum, to be honest with you. It just feels like quite a watery serum. I mean, there's ever so slight oily feeling, but barely any at all, not that you would notice. Again, we don't know the percentage of this, but this costs £6 for 30ml, and I'll do a price comparison at the end to the Ordinary, just for your interest. And like I said, there are a couple of interesting points in that, but I think the reason this doesn't feel oily and warming is I think there's probably a lower concentration of the ethyl ascorbic acid. Again, this has castor oil in it, but nothing else of note there really. I should have mentioned that the hyaluronic acid does have methylparaben in. If anybody's trying to avoid parabens, that one does have parabens, this one doesn't seem to. Go on to use the Bakuchiol. This is another 30ml serum. It's a bit more of a milky serum. Actually, the one thing I've found is it's hard to get the top off the pump. This one reminds me 100% of the inky Bakuchiol. I thought, you know, I would think that's what I was using if it was in the same packaging. It's exactly like it. It's got the exact same scent. I'm realising that there's a specific scent Bakuchiol has. It's a little bit more of a milky serum that you can probably see when I put it on my hand there, rather than just a watery serum. Feels lovely. It feels like it's going to be super hydrating, you know, it feels lovely when you put it on. Again, it dries fairly quickly, but I didn't find it to be particularly hydrating. When I use it, I sit and wait to see, does my skin feel tight having used, you know, remember I used the hyaluronic acid, then the vitamin C serum, then Bakuchiol, and just sat and waited, and my skin did feel a bit tight. So on its own, I don't think it would be enough hydration, but I mean, that's not really the point of it, but it feels lovely. I think I told you this is £7. We don't know the percentage. It is below phenoxyethanol, but it's still quite high on the list. But it also has glycerin in it, which is something else that will contribute to it feeling so, you know, hydrating. But yeah, it felt lovely. Like I said, it felt just like the inky one, really. The final one I used is this, the hyaluronic acid moisturizer, and I really like this actually. It feels lovely going on, and my skin has felt really nice and hydrated using this. So that's what it looks like. It's like a very light, it feels like a gel cream to me. It's £5 for this 30ml, and there was one thing I wanted to note about the ingredients. Again, it's got methylparaben in it, so if you're somebody that likes to avoid parabens, I personally don't have an issue with them, but it has that in it in case you're trying to avoid it. Nothing else really that I can see there much to talk about in the ingredients. It's got squalane in it as well, which is lovely. What did I put? Hydrating, which is exactly what you'd want it to be. Some things I didn't try. Firstly, the caffeine eye serum is £6 for 15ml. Caffeine is very low on the list on this, so again, no percentage, but it has got shea butter quite high on the list. The only thing I found with shea butter in eye creams, and I'm thinking specifically of the Bobbi Brown ones that I used to use, and others, it can give you milia. Milia are those tiny little white, they look like spots, they look like whiteheads, but they don't come out, you know, you need to have them professionally removed. And so that's the only thing. Some people find that with shea butter. And like I said, caffeine is quite low on the list really. This is looks more to me like a hydrating eye cream rather than the caffeine being the key ingredient. The hemp seed oil isn't one I would recommend actually, even if you like hemp seed oil, because this is £6 for 28ml. I don't know why 28 and not 30. I'm sure there's a reason behind that. But the ingredients is just mineral oil, then cannabis sativa seed oil. So it is hemp seed oil. It's also got vitamin E in it, but the number one or the number two ingredient is mineral oil. So I imagine that's mostly what it is. Then the salicylic acid serum is £7. The salicylic acid is quite high on the list, and there's nothing else that I can see of note in the ingredients. It does have castor oil in it, which I think is lovely. No parabens in there. I've got the ingredients here, which is why I'm looking to the left. So yeah, that one would seem to be fine. So that's the products in a nutshell. Obviously that's not an in-depth review of all of them, but what I wanted to talk to you about was how they are definitely a really good priced, cruelty-free drugstore skincare with pretty good ingredients. But when you compare them to the Ordinary, and it probably applies to the Inky List or the Garden of Wisdom products, the Garden of Wisdom is slightly more expensive I think, but you're not getting a percentage here, and that's a bit of a disappointment. It's a shame that they're not telling us how much is in there, and that does make me feel that they are not as potent as the ones for The Ordinary. So I would recommend going with The Ordinary. So if I go through them, the vitamin C, the ethylated vitamin C, is £6. Now, compared to The Ordinary, it is a lot more expensive. It's 3 times as expensive. It's £18 for a 15% ethyl ascorbic acid, but at least you know that you're getting a potent product. I'm not sure that you are with this vitamin C. The hyaluronic acid, for example, is £5, but it's £6, I think, from The Ordinary. But The Ordinary specifies that it's 2% plus B5. This one doesn't give us any idea of the percentage. Then the glycolic acid toner, you could buy one for a couple of pounds more from The Ordinary and know that it's a 7%, whereas this has no percentage in it. So it's just something to bear in mind, that we have no idea how concentrated these are and if they are potent ingredients. The other thing I wanted you to know is that there are 3 specific products from them that are actually more expensive than The Ordinary. And like I said, the reason I'm using The Ordinary is because I have experience of using their products, but also because they are, you know, they're very well known as being an affordable brand, and so it gives you a bit of a benchmark. So if we take the glycolic toner, for example, from Boots, this is 100 ml and this one costs £5. The one from The Ordinary is 240 ml and costs, I've written it down here, £6.80. So for this same size of bottle from The Ordinary, you would pay £2.83. They don't do a bottle this size, but per 100 ml, it's £2.83. using The Ordinary one, and you know that that is 7% glycolic acid. This one is nearly double that price for this size of a bottle, and you have no idea of the percentage. That aside, I actually really like this and I would use this going forward. I like the ingredients in it. I don't necessarily need a high glycolic acid, but I do really like the Ordinary toner. So then the caffeine eye serum is £6 for 15 ml, which is a very small amount from Boots, and this is the one that I haven't tried. The Ordinary do a 5% caffeine in a 30 ml bottle for £5.80. So it's less expensive to buy the one from The Ordinary, I suppose not including postage, but the one from The Ordinary is double the size and has a high concentration of caffeine in it, so it is a 5%. And then finally the salicylic acid serum, the 30 ml is £7 from Boots Ingredients, but the 30 ml from The Ordinary is £4.20, so it's almost half the cost, and it is a 2% salicylic acid serum. So again, they're giving you the price. So the glycolic toner, the caffeine eye serum, and the salicylic acid serum are actually more expensive than you think. So overall, what do I think? I think they all feel really lovely. I don't have any issues with the ingredients, but I wish they'd given us a percentage. I suppose if they told us it was a low percentage, then it's never going to sell as well, because the reason that things on The Ordinary are 2% and 7% and 5% is because that is a potent product. You know, that is something that they've taken from research, and you know, that's the kind of level that you need to have an effect on your skin. So whilst these feel lovely and I like the ingredients, I wouldn't put any faith in them in doing anything more than just hydrating my skin and making my skin feel nice. There are reviews on the Boots website of people saying, oh yes, this feels lovely and this is going to be my go-to ingredient, but there's a lot of lovely hydrated ingredients here, such as glycerin, such as castor oil, and so your skin will feel very lovely and plump. And if that's all you're looking for, just hydrating, then I think this would be a great range. I haven't seen it in the shops. I got mine, I ordered it online and then went and collected it, but I know somebody, when I did the Instagram post, somebody said they had seen it in Boots but hadn't bought it. I have got really big Boots branches near me, fairly near me, and I didn't see it, but it may just be delayed. But that would obviously be something that would beat The Ordinary, because you have to order online with The Ordinary and then you have to pay postage unless you order a certain amount. But personally, if you're looking for any of these ingredients for a real sort of pow, then I would say go with The Ordinary. You know, the glycolic toner is 7%, which is going to help with fine lines if you use it for a long time, and you know, it's going to be more beneficial as a glycolic acid than this one that we don't know what the percentage is, and it's better value for money. So repurchase wise, I'm happy to use all of these up, including this glycolic acid toner. The only thing I would repurchase would be this, the hyaluronic acid moisturizer, because I don't love the natural moisturising factors by The Ordinary, and so they don't really have an affordable night cream as such that I like, but I really enjoy using this. And so this is one I could see me repurchasing and being happy to use. You know, I like the packaging, I love the feel of the product, none of this has broken me out or caused me any kind of allergies, etc., and I like the ingredients. So this is one I can see me repurchasing. I wouldn't repurchase the serums. I will use them up, but I wouldn't repurchase them just because they're a low percentage as far as I can see. And the glycolic acid toner is just much better value for money going to The Ordinary, and you know that it's a 7%. So I think that's everything to tell you. That's where I stand on it at the moment. Let me know if you have tried these and what you think, or let us know, because that's really helpful for everybody reading the comments. I love how much skincare is coming out, and I love that that companies are starting to do things where we can be a bit more in control, you know, by doing these single ingredient products. But I think not everybody has realised how much we want to be in control, so we want to know the percentages, and I think that's where they've really missed out, unfortunately. So yeah, that's everything. I'll give you a rundown of my makeup. Today, the foundation I put on was the Kiko Full Coverage 2-in-1 Concealer and Foundation. I don't feel that it is that, actually. This is 2 layers of it, because the first layer I didn't feel covered very much. The colour is 1.5, and I'm just trying to go through my foundations and find out which ones work for me, which ones don't, because I've got, can you see that white thing? That's all got foundations on it pretty much. On my eyes is the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. I use the colour called Liar, one of my favourite colours in that palette. On my cheeks is the Physicians Formula blush in Rosy Pink. On my lips is the Stila liquid lipstick in Perla. This top is from TK Maxx. I don't very often find things in TK Maxx, but I went in and bought some trainers and saw this and thought it was absolutely gorgeous. And I actually did a TK Maxx haul over on my Patreon channel. The Patreon channel is still going by the way. It's a private channel where you can go and pay $5 a month, so about £3 a month, and I put videos on there that are more sort of about what's going on in my life. It's a long story as to why the channel started. I think I might have put it in the description, but like I said, I've got a TK Maxx on there, and I'm going to do a couples tag over on there, because Kev isn't one to appear in any of my public videos, but I think he said he'd be okay doing one over on that private channel, but anybody is welcome to join, basically. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was interesting to you, and I'll speak to you again.